Thank you for joining us today. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit about HelloFund's auction solution and what some of the features are and recommendations we have to run a successful auction and event. So right here is our main page in the back end of the software where you can see some important links with your keyword, your QR code, and your main landing page, which I'll show you here in a little bit. The very first thing you want to do when you log into HelloFund or would think about utilizing the back end of the software is just going into your landing page content, and you are going to want to go and pick your font color, or the background colors that you may want to use, and font colors, showing the auction preview, hiding certain things that you want people to see. Typically, I only like to or recommend only putting some information about your event and maybe sponsorship opportunities if we're like 6 months out from your event. And then you've got your logos or background images that you can use. Sometimes organizations really like to utilize Canva to go put in maybe the fonts that they are using or the images that they like to utilize. And then you can put in your Facebook and social media icons as well. And then the way that our websites work is it's a one-page main landing page, or it's a one-pager website that gives you the option to have multiple sections where you'd have about your event or maybe sponsorship opportunities. And so if you go and click on the copy bidding URL in the top right there, you can see that when I open up in a new tab, that you have the ability to, this is what the front-facing page would look like. So I've got the ability to buy tickets or sponsor, register to bid. Some of this I would actually hide about 6 months leading up to your event. But if I go click on About, it's going to take me to the About section, and then sponsorship opportunities. I can market those sponsored logos as well, embed a YouTube video, have your auction preview. And this is kind of on our demo version, you can see all the capabilities of the pages. I probably wouldn't show this or have this much information on that first page or the main page going out when you first start marketing it out. And then if I click on this Rio Grande sponsor, it's going to open up into a new page. This is the payment page where the end user can select their ticket option, or they can select their sponsorship option, and they can go in and put in all their information for their particular, for their guest names, their mobile phone number. And then they can go in and make a selection. If we're trying to get some dietary restrictions, we can go in and put in gluten-free. If you're trying to get t-shirt sizes for a golf event, you can get that as well. And then if you've got different options for guests for like a sponsorship with 10 seats at your table, you can put in the information right then for all your guests. Now, a lot of times table sponsors may not, or table hosts may not have all that guest information when they're making this purchase. That's okay. We have I'll show you on the back end, once we get that table host, you can actually send an email reminder to the table host to update that guest info. And then you've got the option to purchase raffle tickets online, make additional donation. If I want to sit with a specific company or a couple family that I want to be with at the event, I can do that as well. And then I can select a guest as purchaser or enter purchaser info below. And then at the very bottom, I've got the ability to cover the credit card fees or not cover the credit card fees. I can pay by check or pay by credit card. If I do pay by credit card, I do have the option to save this credit card on file to be utilized at the event. So that's just a great way to help with payment after the event's over. It helps with check-in, check-out. And so just a great tool to be able to utilize for your event. You do have the option to pay by check. This is basically a pledge that I'm going to sponsor this event, and they can mail a check to your address. And then going back to the back end of HelloFund, where I go in and look at the ticket sales, I can go in and look at Phil Sanger, and I see he purchased a table for $10,000, and then I see all of his guest info there. And if we don't have all of his guest info, I can go in and resend an email to his email, to the table host, and then that way he gets a link like this that he can open up on his site, and then put in the guest name with email and phone number, gluten-free. And if I save that, then I go back into HelloFund of that table host information, and I can see that that's been updated on the back end of that Johnny Sanger right there, gluten-free, johnny@hellofund.com. So it's a great way to have your table hosts or sponsors update that guest info. In addition to the software, we actually create a Google Sheet template for each one of our clients. And so we recommend using this, as while the software is easy to use and you can add items in there or packages in there, we actually recommend using this template, because if you use this template and put in all the information, name, category, description, fair market value, you can go in and put in the starting rate, the starting bids, minimum raise, buy it nows. So if you enter all this information in this Excel or CSV file, you can import it all at once on the back end. And so when you go and download this into a CSV, then when you go into items, manage items on the back end of HelloFund, you can just drop in all those items at one time. It's a huge time saver, and a lot of our clients have really incorporated that and utilized that to drop them in all at once. Once those items are uploaded, then you go in and add in all the images. And so you can add up to 10 images into the back end of the software. And so then the item's ready to go. So I like to really focus on the guest list and the auction items. If you get the guest list and auction items to 90% complete, like 3 to 4 days before your event, then you can start texting out to your community and emailing them. I like the text message function because it really is a game changer. It increases the competition, increases the revenue between your donors. You can go in and select different filters. And so if I'm going to send out a text message to everyone, I like to put the organization name. So maybe I put HelloFund org, and you can personalize it with their first name. We have these codes that you can utilize. The silent auction is open. Click here to view and bid now. And this U is a personal bidding link. So after all the mobile phone numbers are in that's associated with the first name, last name, and email, then you could start sending these text messages out. So if I send this out to myself, send a single text message, and then this is what it looks like from a bidder standpoint. It'll look a little bit different on the computer, but this is the best way I could show it to you. So this is what it would look like when they get the link on their phone. They don't have to download an app or anything like that. And they just click on that link and you get a 6-digit login code. So I put that login code in. And then when I hit next, it says, "Thank you, Lauren and Phil." So it confirms that this is my account. And I click continue. And so at the very top, I can tap to add a credit card here. I can tap to add a credit card here. And I've got you can have your logo, a sponsor logo here. A lot of organizations utilize a technology sponsor so that their logo is here at check-in and in the phone at all times. I have the ability to pay from my phone and to go bid on items throughout. So if I'm going to go bid on an auction item, I can click on bid info, fast bid, and now I'm winning this specific bid. If I'm bidding against someone, then they got an outbid notification. So this drives the revenue and increases that competition. In addition to auction items, we can go in and do sign-up parties. You can do raffle tickets. And the nice thing about these raffle tickets and sign-up parties is that you can limit them to, if we've got only 25 spots for the sign-up party, we can limit it to 25, and that way we don't oversell. Same with the raffle tickets, and people can go buy, and you can have different options. Purchase one for 25 or 5 for 100. So we can go through there and do that as well. Another nice feature is that if I go in and look at the history, I can see who I'm bidding against in here if we wanted to, or we can hide the names on there as well. Just depends on your organization and what y'all's comfort level is with that. So that's kind of how the text messaging works and the bidding works from a donor perspective. Going back to, if I switch back to the event night, let's go back over here. And on event night, you're going to want to go to Event Central and what's called Butler. And so if you've got 400 people at an event, we would recommend having 4 laptops and 4 card readers. You do have the ability to purchase our card readers online. It's between $18 and $20 on Amazon, and they'll ship out to you fairly quickly. And so this is what check-in looks like. So we'd say, welcome to your event. Can I have your last name? And typically, like, I only like to put in maybe the first 3 letters of the last name so I could see who comes up. Sometimes it can be hard to hear. Just want to make sure I get the name right. And I would go in and actually look at, for example, Allison Sanger here. If Allison, I don't have her phone number or email or a credit card on file, I would want to go in and hit the blue edit button and put in all this information. So 512, their number, and then their email address and credit card information to keep on file for the rest of the event. So when we keep a credit card on file, it's like when you go to a hotel and you're going to put everything on the tab to the room. So if you're bidding on the silent auction, live auction, paddles up, everything goes on that credit card. So once we add in all the phone number, email, and credit card, then you hit complete, and they would get a welcome text that says, thank you so much for coming to the event. Click here to start bidding in the silent auction. So then they get another reminder to bid in the silent auction. Since typically most of the silent auctions on the phone, you don't really have to do anything except for sending those text messages out, updating them when the silent auction's over. If it's at 8 p.m., they get an automatic text. They can also get an automatic text when the silent auction ends, so they can pay from their phone. If you're doing a paddles up for your event, you can actually have a paddles up here. And I like to have 3 people recording for paddles up. I recommend having 1 person recording in HelloFund for paddles up. And then I recommend having 2 other write them down, and always listen to what the auctioneer is saying instead of trying to read the paddles themselves. Listening to the auctioneer is key, because it's hard to find a number when the auctioneer is yelling them out quickly. So we'd say, who's going to be a $5,000 donor? Bidder 100. Thank you, bidder 100. So it automatically gets inputted into HelloFund, and then they go to the 2,500 level. And so they're automatically going in so that at the end of the night or after Paddles Up is done, then the whoever's recording it, y'all can go in and double check these and make sure they're right. And that way you enter in the live auction items too. Those are the only other things you probably need to enter in, depending on what you're doing at the event. But if Lauren Sanger goes and purchases Turks and Caicos, you enter those in those live auction items like that. And then you would do checkout, and you would ask for the bidder number or name. And so if we've got somebody like Lauren and Phil Sanger, they need to check out, you'd hit the red checkout button and then review everything that they purchased that night. So if they won item 2, 5, and 10, you'd have the manila folders right behind you, and with everything in numerical order, along with the package. If it's got a football with it, we recommend putting the physical item right there with it. And then if Lauren and Phil are right there, thank you so much for attending tonight. It looks like you did the raffle, a sign-up party, and the live auction Turks and Caicos. Would you like to pay with a credit card on file? And you can review the credit card fees with them right there. Click on complete checkout, and they get an automated receipt with the fair market value and all your information in that one receipt, and they're good to go. I'm not going to close this out because this has their credit card information on file, or it doesn't, but I could put it right there. You also have the option to batch out payments in HelloFund. So if someone doesn't check out that night, or you want to batch them out that night all at once, you can do that, or we can you can do it after your event is complete. But that's a basic demo about from start to finish of what we like to do. I really like to concentrate on kind of 4 main things about 6 months out, depending on where you are in your setting up your event. You know, I try to get the landing page set up and the event ticket page. You're really working on the guest list to try to get that to a good place, along with the auction items. Both of those about 90% complete. And then 3 to 4 days prior to your event day or night, you're going to start sending text messages out. And then once those text messages send out, that's when you'll start to see a lot of the traction. You can go in and look at the dashboard in the event and see kind of where our totals are. How much are we making in the silent auction? How many people have checked in? How many cards do we have on file? So you're getting that data leading up to the event, and then making that check-in a lot smoother, the checkout a lot smoother, with the payments after the fact. So it just, if you concentrate on those couple of things, it can really enhance your event. So, and then you've got all these reports on the back end that you can pull as well. That's great for your accounting or board. You've got event sales, you've got merchant reports for your accounting team. So yeah, that's just a quick overview of what you can do with HelloFund auction solution. If you would like to see it in action as a bidder point of view, you can go to hello.hellofund.io and register as a bidder and go see how you see how that works. Hope that was helpful, and good luck with your fundraising. Thanks.